Because the
For the
time of the county
statement.
changed it too.
And so, I mean, I would, you know, I would.
We would, I have no idea what they did, so there's no way that the checking account yield should be more than money market.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and now he just
We're dealing
changed
with a
it too,
rinky-dink
so that may
bank,
be
I guess.
different now too.
But
So when I talked to
anyway,
him
the reality
Wednesday,
is that, you know, we're not talking about a big difference, but there was a percentage deal on the checking, and one was 0.03 and one was 0.04.
you know, the October statement shows the business market, which is what we consider the money market, which is the, I would say savings because it's the large one, was a 0.03. And let's move over to a different one. The checking was 0.04, so it was actually earning more. Again, that's 20 cents probably.
Yeah.
So, 20 cents is probably.
So I move that we make those deposits in the checking with Tommy monitoring excessive overage and move it to money market as needed.
Have a motion, have a second? Motion in a second. Discussion question. If we get excessive funds in there, why are we not purchasing 30, 60-day CDs or something like that, trying to do it? We're not gonna need this money to possibly July.
We could, well, I mean, that's true. I mean, this has been pushed back, but originally we were thinking we might be moving a little faster than we are doing, you know?
If you had a 30-day automatic renewal CDs, you should be able to
Right.
quadruple that money.
Sure.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye, deposit money in checking account. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Discussion of financing options, regarding the paved road to Rancho Grande. We, as Tommy mentioned, we did have a meeting with, Clarissa Rodriguez, Laura, and city manager, and myself in here. And we went through, she went back and did some research, and we have an option of going either through a bonding process. And with the bonding process, you can either do it through FEDC, or you can do it through the city. If the city wanted to obligate themselves to do it. Based on the city situation and all, I don't think we want to try to intertwine the city in this. We don't look at doing it directly. Under normal situations, we could have probably gotten a little bit preferential rate doing it through the city. But I don't think that's really an option at this point. The other one is that you can go through a private placement. The difference between those, if you go a bond, you have to go through steps with your bonding agent, bonding attorney, financial advisor. You have to go get approval for your attorney general. The discussion was, and we wanted Clarissa to make sure it was darn sure legal and all, if we could go private placement. She went and called, did a lot of research on it. She said it's absolutely legal, 100% that you can do it that way. You, depending on the finance company that does it, you may or may not even need bond counsel, financial advisor, and for certain you do not need the attorney general approval in that logistics and all like that. She's been trying to call you to discuss that. Hopefully she finally did. She called you several times, even got the email last time.
I haven't had a
So,
call from her, so.
So she's done
She may have
extensive
called her.
research in it, looked at all the statutes or court cases and different things, and it's absolutely 100% legal. You can get, since we're tax-free, we're gonna be able, she said we should be able to get tax-free interest on this, instead of it being taxable income to an investor, it's tax-free, so our rate should be lower, since it's a tax-free investment. Clarissa went and she has two individuals that she wants us to look at possibly having on standby in case we do go through a private placement to avoid the fees and expenses of the attorney general and mitigate that expense and all. And she'd like to consider Clay Benford and a Mark Seal as financial bond attorney, and Mark Fields. Now, these gentlemen are basically on standby if the firm that we ended up selecting interest rate with, choosing a loan with, needed them to perform some duty. We don't know how much they would needing to do, if any. Some of the loan companies I dealt with, talked to, said there would be an attorney that, like Clarissa, would come in and she would be the one that would certify based on our organizational papers and that we have authority based on the election, that we have authority, that we're a legal entity to do it, et cetera. Clarissa said that she could do all that. But what she wanted to do is, that she has these gentlemen that she visited with, that she would recommend. And we just had to throw out some kind of numbers, and I'm gonna let you explain it, but for instance, if we went in and we did a $1.5 million loan, we would pledge our sales tax proceeds as a collateral for that. And on a $1.5 million loan, the estimated fee on was $25,500. I'm reading his notes here.
That's an actual.
That's an actual number for
The
that.
city of Live Oak, and they said, you know, you wouldn't, you just would not believe what Fulbright Jaworski's billing rate is per hour. It's $555
It's
an
insane.
hour. And he said, you know, we don't function like that. We get in, find out what we need to do. But he said, we had a real estate loan for Live Oak, and it was FEDC and went through $1.5 million, and we charged, the total fee was $25,500, which is between a 1% and a 2% fee.
Now, again, we don't know exactly what options we're gonna do, and we're talking about financing options available. We're gonna be some discussions that we're gonna need to do here before we go out for bid for several firms that we talked to, and maybe get Clarissa to give us some additional names as well. But we don't know,
We're doing this in anticipation of.
we're trying to get somebody on board to, in case, and when we pull a bid,
we're ready
we
to
probably,
go.
when we go out for a bid and we select the bid and we know how much it's gonna be, we're gonna be needing to move, because they're not gonna hold a bid on the road paving for an extended period of time. So we're just needing to have some individuals on it. These are two that Clarissa recommended from her interviews, discussions with them, and all like that.
So basically, you're wanting a motion to either bond it or do the private placement. Is that what you're?
Well, we don't know if we're gonna go bonding. Clarissa is saying right now, since it's legal for us to go private placement and all, it would be more economical for us to avoid all of those fees. And it is legal, and
Those are the two options.
that's the two ways you can go, private placement or bond.
Well, the bond's not gonna be that much less expensive, is it?
By the time you go through, well,
You throw
it'll
the
take,
25,000 on top of it?
it'd take this
The
to
AGs.
do it based on legal. But if you could do private placement, you may not have but a very minimal portion.
My point, exactly. You know.
But we don't know until we get there. The only way we could do it otherwise is you could go out, you could hire somebody to do it based on just the estimate on these that Larry done, and we don't know if that's gonna come in close.
Well, we've already had discussion about which way is the best way to go, and where we're gonna, what changes we might need to make on the channel, and, I mean, there's too many variables.
We're low.
Yeah, I would
We're
agree.
low, we're
I
under- we're
don't know
low.
anything about it, and
I can't even
that's
spell
not my
it.
line of work.
Yes.
That's, we're low.
Well,
Since we're basically, and since we've had the discussion tonight, I'm gonna tell you, I would probably want to recommend we table this until we get a chance to get a little bit closer to where
We
we're
can always
going.
have a special call meeting to do this if we needed to move on it. But-
And that'll be the case. You know, I think we're just trying to line up some players so we don't have to
Well,
do that.
Do we need to do that? I mean, is that,
It
are
doesn't
they not
cost
easy?
anything. There's no
Okay.
retainer fees or anything
No.
to,
But I mean, once we get the bids back and we see that this is the actual number somebody's gonna do this, then we're gonna have to drop the hammer
Okay,
and,
so then how much lead time do these people need if we don't do the bond, or even if we do the bond? There's gonna be lead time.
I think there's, no one really knows because they can't say, okay, well, in mid-February, I know what my schedule's gonna be or who I'm working, but I think that they know time is of the essence. I've explained that to them, and it's not now, but it will be as soon as we get the bids in. And I'm sure Clarissa will be spending whatever
How
time
much-
she needs
how
with
much
us.
Of this, I mean, what is our obligation in terms of, if we do this private placement, what paperwork do we do to facilitate that?
okay. And again, it's gonna vary lender to lender.
Okay.
Some
Is
lenders,
there a general idea?
some lenders said it would basically be need our city, our attorney to look over, prove it, and give it some of this information. Some of them said we would like a financial advisor possibly to review it and things like that. But,
But we could test those waters and not be so expensive, and just see if there's some interest.
and if
I would like to
we
think it
didn't
would-
need these people, we wouldn't call them.
Yeah, then why spend 25,000
Yeah.
if you could do it local?
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
So if we were to do anything with this, what is it we would be doing tonight?
Okay, when we were thinking about this, we were thinking he's gonna be moving on, and we
Okay.
needed to approve engaging
Okay.
these people on an as-needed
Okay.
basis.
Yeah.
He's not ready yet.
Mhm.
No.
He's not anywhere near ready for that. But I think we should, investigate the private placement locally or wherever, but
No doubt.
kind of see if there's some interest and everybody says, no, we're scared to death, then we know that that's not a
We
good
had
option.
3 lenders I've visited with that are definitely into
So
this.
that's, why, stay here at the house.
Okay, so we're gonna table that
I
then?
move that we table item G.
Second it.
Motion and second, we table the financing options till we receive further information. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item H. In your package, you have a scope of work package here that Tommy and Ms. Turner have worked up. This is basically using the new format that Tommy alluded to in his discussion so that the city and FEDC have knowledge of what they're doing so they can work together. Tommy said we had a very good meeting, and it was a productive meeting. We could discuss what we're needing, how to move forward to avoid some of the surprises that we may have had in the past, and also not put the city in an imposition on committing people to do projects that they need to do some of theirs. So this is just a way. Now, what this one is, that he discussed was extend that water line up on the side of Beverage Park. Because what has happened is Roger Wells and them rejected our counter offer because it didn't have water. They don't know what the expense was gonna be. And so this is an effort for us to work with the city to put water in there to make that property marketable. Tommy, you want to go over this and explain?
Yeah, the deliverables, in the scope of work, basically is the city put in an 8-inch water line. They have an engineer involved and I guess that's Larry. And that's the top of page 2, the external labor. That's Larry's fee for, I think the grade is such that it's climbing up the hill to Paloma. And basically you put in an 8-inch water line, and then we pay for the installation, and then when a developer or a buyer goes under contract, and we close, they go to the city and pay $1,400 tap fee for water
A water meter and a tap currently.
and.
Or whatever the
for
current fee would be,
Yeah.
yes, because that could change, but that's the actual.
And
tap
that
fee.
would be their cost, and then the city simply reduces 8-inch to 1-inch for bathroom usage for office. And it's, you know, it's pretty simple, and it moves the development on, and we get a reputation of being able
Would
to
those
pull
folks
these
be
things off.
then interested in looking at that again if we did that?
And where's the water lines now on this property? You know?
They're,
I mean,
Here's
we're
Veterans.
talking about going up Veterans Drive. But
Yes.
then what about that Eagle Drive? Is there water on that side?
there's water over there,
There's water
and there's sewer.
There's water and sewer at Eagle, and also at the veterans' home.
Here.
Of course, there's water and sewer
Okay.
there.
And so basically, we'll
I'm
have,
just missing that.
we have a big U on sewer, and we'll have a big U after they run the line up Veterans Drive from lot
Right.
6, 5, and 4.
Yeah.
And then they'll connect up with water meters, and they have a fire hydrant in here as well, so,
So we have water and sewer on this other big lot that's just,
On the Eagle side?
yes.
Yes, sir. Now, one of the things we wanted to do was design, the 1 inch is kind of like the standard, even though some of the facilities are out there, they did step it down to 3/4 of an inch, but we wanted to do 1 inch so that it's there. We don't know what their capacity, but we don't want that to be hindered. So somebody said, well, I need more water for whatever the functions are. So 1 inch is more than enough to accommodate what anybody would want to put in there.
But we're not gonna put that in with this. This scope doesn't
Right.
include that. Yeah, so if someone came in and said they wanted a larger, if
Yeah, that's
it's
your-
capable,
Yeah.
which it should be.
then they gotta develop
And
a
it
more.
has development, yes, and it's going to be.
And I think if this were online, that Mr. Wells would come back.
Here's the Veterans Home. There's water and sewer on this side.
You think one's good?
But,
Think one's good, 1-inch line? And it costs
well, they're
1
putting
inch.
an 8-inch
8-inch line.
They're putting off labor there.
with 3, 4, with 3, with the 3 1-inch meters.
Yeah.
So they're putting an 8-inch line.
Okay.
But we're not putting meters on any of the lots.
No. They're just putting an 8-inch line. So I think 8-inch line,
8 inch is good, but you're not gonna accommodate 6 parcels of dirt with a 1-inch
they're
line.
not putting 1-inch line.
No, no,
they're
no,
putting
no,
8-inch
no.
line.
Yeah, I made a mistake on the agenda.
It is 8-inch line.
And so it worked out very smoothly. Andrew was able to, the project, I think is project coordinator or project manager, he was able to do that, speak with Tommy, speak with myself, even run up with Laura. And so I feel very comfortable with this and these prices. And so that's the easy thing. And I think you had to make it a week, a week.
Yeah, I mean, we need to make a decision because these prices seem to fluctuate on materials. I don't know what's going on, but
PVC's bouncing everywhere.
With
And
the
again, that is
whole
an
price.
estimate.
prices.
And this price is not exact, it could vary based on the material cost when they actually put it in. But this is the best guess estimate, and it shouldn't be going from a $6,000 quote that we received to a $42,000 bill that we have.
No, we were not. And as Laura alluded to earlier, the one that we did on Plum Drive was actually, some of it was a safe estimate, so there's still room there. We're still looking at the labor, so Angie did a really good job on those numbers. I anticipate that those numbers will be very good. These are definitely numbers that you can live by, plus or minus maybe 1 or 2%.
and I understood from Andy that, I guess, once it's approved by the different parties, then he didn't know exactly when the project would start. Do you have any idea?
Well, for us, of course, the weather is not necessarily our friend right now, but we want to be able to do that early spring as soon as we possibly can. And so because he's not going to be doing any construction projects right now, unless it's an autumn break, he's going to be focusing on doing our sewer modeling project. So it'd be weather permitting, but we could schedule that and get it going and be able to give you an idea of when it's coming in. Of course, our weather's not.
Now, you scare me when you say early spring, but I mean, within weather permitting,
Weather permitting. Yeah.
within-
You remember, this is my first Texas winter, so I don't,
unfortunately, they're usually.
the ground freezes where I come from, we have to let it thaw, but
Yeah.
so he was just.
You don't have that problem here.
But I mean, I have a guy hanging out, and I'm trying to lure him back. And I said, I'll work on the water, you work on the electric, I don't have any control of that.
Well,
And so,
if you have-
and
if
then
you have a
we'll get back
time frame-
together.
If you have a time frame, like I said, if February is the time that you can start building things, then, you know, because I'm not quite sure about the ground, and since they're closing up Dallas Airport and things
But-
like
but
that.
as soon
Dallas
as-
is a country of its
So-
Weather
We're putting one
so-
on this tomorrow.
So weather
Okay.
permitting, we have no problem with that.
Right?
In 2014 though. It may jump up to be 80 degrees tomorrow.
What do you charge you for the fire,
I'm sorry.
the fire hydrant?
I think there's one on there, isn't
So,
Is there, what's the cost? The old 1500s a fire hydrant?
let me see that, I don't have a copy.
I don't, they lumped it into 5819.
Lumping, that's how we got where we're at.
And he didn't, this says 3 1-inch water meters, that is actually, we made some changes to this. Because really, originally, he included, he was gonna, you make the taps, and we talked about, you know, you might sell 2 of the lots to one person and they don't want 2 taps, so that actually is not 3-inch water
So
meters.
that 58 should go down, right?
No, he already fixed the dollar amount, it was higher, it was 1,400 times 3, he just didn't take the wording out. I can get the fire hydrant cost, I wanna say the last time I bought one was 1,900, but I have to go back and
How
look.
much?
1,009, might have been a little less. We can get that. Fire hydrant.
Are there any dead ones that you could pull up?
Oh, you can't, oh, no, 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 no.
You can't do that? You can't pull up a dead fire hydrant?
That's why they paint them black. But this system is following along with the guidelines, and it is looped, which is very important in reference to us looping the system, so if one truncates, it can flow and still loop. So this system is looped. When we finish this, it'll actually be a fully looped system.
If you get the hydrant and all the plumbing and all the saucer road ready to go for less than 3,000,
That's
you're
what,
okay.
1,009, I think that's.
So what you've seen now at the first meeting is the results of the meeting that we had with them, and to try to get a flow going, try to get the price in, working harmoniously with them, and I like it. Now, then, if we have any other questions, I didn't take, if you recommend we do it, and we're going to sell those lots, we're gonna need to do this. Anybody will make a motion to accept this?
I make a motion that we accept the proposal from the city to install our water and sewer and high fire hydrants as stated in this document.
I have a motion, have a second. I have a motion and a second to accept the proposal by the city for a cost of extending the 8-inch water line along Veterans Drive. Having any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Item I was part of the G discussion for financial advisor and all, where we're tabling those together. So,
I move that we table item I.
we table, motion table item I.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. And that concludes our agenda.
I move, yeah.
Yeah.
Have a motion to go see the Cowboy County to adjourn the meeting.
And we gotta get Ben in 3 minutes.
You get Ben in 3 minutes.
All right.
Come back from Barnes City.
Second.
Motion made, second, to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
8:37, meeting's over. Thank you. Next meeting will be the second Monday in January.
13th.
We've got to figure. There's gotta be a city
Hey,
somewhere.
I'm gonna sign these before I leave. If you get his, I need to ask you something.
You're gonna wind up with 3 things like this, you're gonna wind up-
I can't, you won't take me tomorrow.